Welcome to BizTech's first SME show. Over the next year, we are going to be featuring SMEs, both micro as well as large, sharing their entrepreneurial journeys and also imparting the lessons they've learned during the time so that you can learn and do better than they did. Now, today's guest is Dini Tajudin, founder of Dini and Dinimedia. Now, welcome to the show, Dini.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Dini.
Brian.
Now, what did you do before you became an entrepreneur, Dini?
Actually, I was working for a company. I was working for GLC. It's called Perbadanan Usahawan Nasional Berhad. This was like over a decade ago. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Okay, this is also a question I get a lot. Basically, I was seeing all of these entrepreneurs that I was monitoring their businesses. They took up loans with PNB, and I could see that they could do it. But the thing is, a lot of them didn't pivot online that much. And I told them that they should. And then, I don't know, I think that, with all the things that I learned, maybe I should do it myself. And I quit my job and I did. Yeah, I did.
So, what sort of thought process was that? I mean, you just quit your job. You just felt like you quit your job. Like, why?
Okay, because well, the thing is, like, I was already doing sales. I was involved in sales throughout my working career. I was always doing business part-time online. So I
Okay.
thought that, this is probably the time to like take it a step further. So yes, I quit my job. Everyone called me crazy. Everyone, literally family, everything. And I just deep dive and yeah, jump both feet in.
So, but one of the things that is a good thing is you actually started off and had side hustles. So you probably also learned a lot of lessons, right?
I did, but apparently not enough.
Okay, so then not enough. Walk us through your entrepreneurial journey after you left PUNB.
Okay, so obviously I had like big, huge dreams. I thought that, okay, we're gonna make it. First month projection was awesome, nice. Been like monitoring over like almost 300 companies. Got a chip on my no, a lot of chips on the shoulders. Like, I can do this. And then fell flat on my face, like, within the first 3 months, like literally ran out of money, ran out of cash, was cheated by multiple suppliers at once, was cheated
Now,
by
what business was this?
this was actually, I started with a clothing business, like one of the hardest e-coms to go in because of the high capital investment. I mean, high for a person like me who's starting out small.
Okay.
So, because the lag time, right? And it's not like something that, you buy something ready and then sell it. I actually did the whole like buy the material, send it over to supplier, get it like sewn, and then do the photo shoot and then sell it online. So it was a whole 9 yards,
So
which
that was much more complicated than as a start, rather because you wanted to make more money, it was more margins that way.
actually because I just thought that I could do it. Yeah, I
Oh,
know, right?
okay.
Chips on the
So there was
shoulder.
not a clear business plan, strategy, and all that. It was
Oh,
just like,
that
okay, well,
was
what? I just do it.
that was the thing is what you put on your projections and what you had as plans, and you think that you could do it because you've been advising companies before, is not the same as actually running a business by yourself. It's completely different. Things on paper and things in real life, completely different. There's a huge disparity there.
Okay, and then so you did that business. So you said first 3 months you kind of run out of money, and then what happened?
Okay, things got so worse that literally, like, in the first year, that I couldn't even go back home raya to my family home because I didn't have any cash. But I was too scared and afraid to tell my own family that I quit my job and everything. Yes. So what I did was, I lied. I said I had to work over the raya and I couldn't go back. But what happened in real
See.
life was I was eating Maggie in my rented apartment with all the stockpiles of the reject stock. And prior to that, even like a few weeks before that, it got so bad that I was, with all the stock that we had, I put it in like two huge, like suitcases, and I was going from office to office, including my own old office, knocking
Okay,
on doors, trying to peddle the goods away so that I could get some cash.
so how did your what was the reception like at PUNB when your old colleagues saw you?
Oh my God. Okay, some of them were really welcoming, like, hey, Dini, come on, let's, I want to see your things. Like, it's really nice. But, yeah, I mean, it wasn't just like that office, but every single office that I knocked on, like Putrajaya, even I had knocked on, obviously they had this, so it's like, oh, here comes the salesman, like bringing goods. Oh, is it good? They had that.
Okay, so it's kind of a condescending kind of
Of course,
attitude.
I mean, it's to
Okay,
be expected, I guess. Yeah. But
okay,
that really helped me, like, remove all of the chips on my shoulders and remove all of the ego that probably left over that I had. Yeah. So that
okay.
helped. Yeah.
And then, so how did you move from there? So you obviously you did you manage to sell your stock, and how did you progress beyond that?
Okay. Managed to sell, like, some stock, and then started really slowly again, and somehow, like, we bought a few more materials, and then put it up on Facebook page, because didn't have a website, an e-com even at that time. And
Okay.
it somehow it blew up because of, like, one photo shoot was done really, really well for the product, and then it blew up from there.
So
And
what year was this?
this was like way back in, like, I think 2013, 2014. This was
Okay.
way back
So
when.
the good photos, I mean, they always
Oh
tell
no,
you that from
2013. Yeah.
e-commerce, right? Good
Yes.
photos
Good
really help.
photos. It does. It does.
Okay.
It works wonders. And I managed to hit 3 million in the first 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 million in the first 2 years.
From
From
peddling goods.
knocking doors to 3 million in 2 years. That is a fantastic story. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So 3 million, you would have been making tons of money then. I mean, profits wise. So what
Yes.
did you do with that money? I mean, obviously you're making good margins. This is probably like a 60-70% kind of margin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 50%, almost 50%.
Okay.
But the thing is, okay, I love the fact that you asked that question, because this is where I learned another lesson. Now, I did what any new rookie entrepreneur would do. Okay, got a ton of money. So what we did was expand it really, really fast. Like, paid deposits for like a few stores, and like paid, renovation for them, like pretty renovation and everything. Got the signboards up, because business not business if it doesn't have a walk-in store, right? So
Okay. Yeah.
so
Right. Online to offline, that is the
yeah,
secret thing. Yeah.
that's like
Okay.
open flagship stores. So opened up a few, and not just in one state. Like, it was in Selangor, it was in Perak. Really went nuts on it, and then put our stock at, like, vendor stores all the way in JB and everywhere. So I think what happened was that we grew basically too far.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of like went like easy on the expansion. Yeah, so that was a lesson
So
learned.
so that one was basically okay. So I'm just doing the back of envelope calculations, and so you had like 1.5 million in profit, and you plowed that back into the business. You opened 5 stores. What happened then? Did that result in that jump in sales, or was it just more overhead without the jump?
Okay, that's where we learned that, some stores would actually make money, and some stores would just lose money. And then some stores really did make money in the first like 3 months. It paid off for everything. But some stores up to the fifth year did nothing. And we were just paying because, when you have a store, it becomes like, a benchmark. And if you close it, it becomes like a no shame kind of face kind of thing. You can't close
Okay.
it down. So
I
we
think a lot
also
of
learned.
entrepreneurs are like that, because you realize that instead of making the hard decision, which is to close the unprofitable store, you keep it open for face saving. And I think this is what happened with a lot of people during COVID as well. They got themselves into further trouble because they didn't close unprofitable stores fast enough.
Yeah. Also because we didn't want to like lose the stuff that we had. They were good people, and closing one of the stores meant like losing jobs for people. And as well, there was this inside, like, we thought that, okay, we're gonna do hope marketing, where we hope that next month it's gonna be better and the economy is gonna get better and we are gonna make more sales. But that just never materialized.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how did the business then go downhill? So things were not working out. So what were your overheads like, and then what started the slide?
Okay, I'd say, like, basically like failing to react fast enough. Like, I've had friends in the industry. The moment they saw that the market was going down in 2015, the first thing they did was put up their stores, like, up for sale, or selling off the stores with the stock and everything. and they got to like, you know, get their renovation money back, their stock money back. And but what I did was the opposite. I was like hoping and waiting for it to be better, and failing to realize that the economy is always going to be cyclical, and that was a downward trend. And when GST came, it really affected our bottom line as well. And then because every single month, if we didn't have 70K for salaries, because it was like 20 overstaff, we couldn't make payroll. And if there was no additional 70K for overheads, we couldn't make rent.
So you had about 100 plus minus about 150,000 of overhead a month.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Okay.
sales was not even like, you know, at one point it was not even close to that. So it was a really tough pill to take, especially when you're seen as a success, as this like, you know, because at that time I was also like, you know, visiting GLCs and giving talks to like young entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And you know, you hope that it will get better, but yeah.
So
Go
then
to it.
what do you do? I mean, when did you hit like rock bottom? What happened?
Okay, about like 4 years ago, after a series of bad decisions and everything, I really I lost everything, right? I had to
So
close
when
down
you
all
say
of this.
lost everything, what happened just before that? I mean,
Well, it
your,
was a
your
series of
stores, yeah. What was the catalyst that really? You said a
that
couple of
really.
bad decisions. What were the bad decisions?
Well, the bad decision was didn't like couldn't meet sales for months and months. Like its sales could cover our expenses for months and months, and then um, and also at that time we were given like a choice to like either let go of the staff or let go of the store. And the thing is, try to hold on to everything, you know, try like very hard. I took multiple courses, very expensive courses, just to learn how to do marketing better, FB adverts better, every single thing better, because I thought that the problem in not making sale was actually like the marketing strategy. All right.
Okay.
And then but in the end, we couldn't like, you know, we just couldn't make it. And it came to a point where it was like few months in the red, and finally it was like, okay, it's time to like, you know, let go, because one of our stores, like the main one, was sold to like a new owner, and then the rent went up like significantly. So it was time to like decide, okay, it's you, you just have to like face the music and just have to let go.
Okay.
So that became like a catalyst of like, okay, fine, close down that store, close down every store, and then let go of all of the stuff, which was super painful, because they were good people, right? And then had to pick up the pieces, because by that time didn't have money for like capital and everything, and had to start from zero. But the problem was there was no cash for restarting, and
So
literally
this
that's
was
when.
what year? 2017.
Yeah, this was like 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And then, so what did you do? You had no money.
yeah,
Um,
at that
you just
time,
lost your business.
yeah, I just lost my business and everything. And then um I I literally had to let go, because the thing is, at the same time I was actually heavily pregnant with my firstborn. And then I was so depressed.
Wow.
Yeah, I was super depressed because I didn't even have cash for anything, right? I couldn't even figure out how to settle the hospital bill. And that was really tough, because I think that was the point where I realized that this is the lowest that I could go. This is the point where my knees were knocked to the ground, and I realized that, you know, all of the things I did before just, you know, nothing in the end. And I felt like such a loser, because I brought my son out into the world, and I can't even like figure out how to bring him out of the hospital, because at the same time my car was towed away by the bank, because I was missing, I didn't take salaries for months. I was missing up payments. And you know, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably have gone through this before. You missed out payments on your car. If you don't, you're
Absolutely. Yeah.
awesome. You're like way beyond me. But I messed up my car payments. I got told by the bank 1 week before I was due to deliver. When I was in the hospital, I was trying to figure out how to pay the hospital bill, and I had to sell my home furniture just to cover my hospital bill. So that
How
was
are
like,
you health-wise? I mean, because being an entrepreneur is tough. You're going through a lot of stress. You're shutting
yes,
down your business. You are depressed. How were you health-wise? Because you're carrying this baby, right?
It was really crap. Like honestly, because I was going through all of these things, like I had to move things, everything, like, the whole rack system and everything, strip down the shops and let go everything for pennies, like thousand things for pennies. I'm worried about, like the last payments to everyone. At the same time, being pregnant, I got so depressed that literally I lost eight kilos in 1 month, but while being 8 months
My
pregnant.
goodness.
And I remember sitting, like, the monthly clinic
Yes.
visits to the doctor,
Yeah.
to
Check
check up
health
on
check.
the,
Yeah.
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 I remember the doctor, like, she couldn't believe her eyes. She made me like go on the scale machine like twice because she couldn't believe her eyes on the report. It said that I had lost 8 kilos in a single month. And she sat me down, and I was just beyond myself at the time. I was just depressed, and then I was numb. And she shook my shoulders, and then she said, "Is this right? Like, did you just lose 8 kilos in a month?" And I said, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay." And then she asked all the nurses and everything. Said, "Yeah." I was like, "Look, if you continue on this path, one of you is not going to make it to the next month. But I urge you to just think about your baby. Think about your baby." The thing is, I heard her voice. But I was just too numb and too depressed with every single thing that happened at once that it went like this. I couldn't register it.
Yeah,
So
and I know because a lot of us entrepreneurs, when we go through difficult times, that's how we feel. I mean, nothing else kind of makes sense. We're not thinking logically, right? It's a very common thing for all of us.
yeah, so that was I'd say one of my lowest points. And then when it came time to deliver, I didn't have enough energy because I lost too much weight. I was too depressed. I was too numb. They had to do emergency cesarean. I remember like the first thing when I I awoke from everything, the first thing that came to my head, because I hadn't seen my son yet at the time, the first thing that came to my head was, how the heck am I going to pay this hospital bill? And that's not exactly the kind of thought you want to have as a first time mother. And
Yeah.
when I saw my son, I just lost it. I just cried because I felt like such a big loser as a mom. Because I brought this son, this beautiful baby boy, into the world, and I had no idea how to like support him. I felt like, the biggest loser as a mom. And at that time, a big part of me just regretted being an entrepreneur.
I think we all go through that, when we are in our lowest points. But how do you then pull yourself out of that? Because how long did it take you after you obviously the wonderful thing happened and you had your child? And for us, our children are our blessings. How did you then pull yourself out of the depression, the rut, and then get back on your feet? How long did that take you?
Well, it didn't take me like, the thing is, I would say that it took me a bit longer time because I was in physical pain. I was in like emotional trauma and everything. But I think God has a plan for all of us. And his plan for me was when he gave me my son, he gave me a new leash or new will to live. Whenever I look at my son, I feel that, this boy deserves better than a crying mother every single day. And that will, like, make me promise myself that I'm going to provide the best I can for my family, for my parents, and for everyone. And I made a promise to myself there and then that if I survived it, then I knew I had to because of my son. But if I survived this period, that I was going to be another hand that will pull another up the way I was helped. And what I mean by the way I was helped, because the thing is, the things that have been happening for the past few months and the past few years is, I couldn't take credit for all of it at all, because the thing is, I wouldn't be here for if not for all of the support that has been given to me and all the kindness that have been shown to me. And the way I got out of it was, I realized that if I can't see positivity in front of me, like, I can't see sales, I can't see positivity, I can't see beyond my own problems. I had to look somewhere else. I had to find like a network, some people that can wash my brain, and make me see in new eyes and change my mindset into positivity, so that I could bring whatever that was dark inside, bring it to light, and it will, like, come out in my physical world. I knew I had
So
to do
that
it.
positivity and that, as you say, the brainwashing, and it's really about rewiring your brain again from where you were. Did they take what, 12 months, 18 months? How long did that take?
I'd say like it took me about 6 months,
Okay.
6 months to a year, but it was a gradual process. And throughout those years, I still felt fear. I still felt like a lot of bitterness over what happened. But it wasn't until I met like, and then I started doing part-time businesses, and I went to work for a company, and that was when
Oh,
I met. Yeah, I went to work for a company because I decided that okay, maybe I need some positive environment. So I went to work with this company. It's amazing. That's when I met one of like my favorite mentors, my ex-boss, and he helped me to see like positivity and like how to rewire your brain in order to prepare for opportunities. And that was like the catalyst that got me here.
fantastic. So now, from from being an employee back to being an entrepreneur, what was the switch, the light bulb, that critical moment?
COVID. COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, pure COVID. It was like the pandemic because I was happy in that company. I was happy with my boss, with my colleagues and everything. I was making like sales and was doing like really good commission. It was a really good pay, but the only problem was when COVID hit and my clients was like, you know, my clients were people in the government. And when COVID hit, it was 3 months and they couldn't like, go into their office. So the accounts, billings was not working. So we didn't get any payment for months and months. And that was like, that got me like into that fear again. Oh my God, am I gonna go through that period again? Am I gonna suffer? How's my family? It got me into like overdrive. And that's when I realized that, I thought that that was a secure route, but it's not. And as I delved into my fear, I realized that as I am afraid of my security and my income, a ton of people are also facing the same thing. And I remembered my promise years ago that when the time comes that if I survive this, I was going to step up. And even though I did not know like the route that I was going to take, I was going to jump in again. And that was a scary thing to do. But I decided that, a promise is a promise. It's time for me to fulfill it. And that's why I became an entrepreneur again.
Okay. So tell us about your business now.
Okay. Well, it started it started really weird because the thing is, because I've been in sales for 19 years, and when the COVID happened, suddenly everyone wanted to pivot online. They want to do sales, and I had like some e-com knowledge, and my friends was asking, "Hey, Dini, you've been in e-com, you sold so many things. Can you like help me? Can you like consult? Like, how do I do this? How do I sell things online? I gotta get income for my family." And then the more people ask, and then I let me just share to a whole group so that I don't have to repeat myself again and again. And that where it started, like I started creating units so it's easier for if people ask, I just forward them. And it started off free because I just wanted to help. And at one point I realized that I also needed to sustain. So that's where like, and there was a lot of demand as well. So that's where I started to like, hey, maybe I can do this. Like, so that's why I started to coach people. Yeah.
Okay. And so this is Dini Flicks and Dinimedia.
Yeah, Dini Flakes is where I coach people like how I do it with you. Like I teach you how to A to Z and how to do branding online and everything. And you can see results in like 7 to 14 days, engagement in your posts and everything. Because I realized that I've done it so many times in the past that I just need to like put it in a system people can follow. And yeah, it's like going to be this now.
Now you've got a special gift, and you wanted to give a special gift to all the people who are actually watching us. Could you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that today?
Yes. Okay. The thing is, like, for the past few months, people have also been coming up to me like, "Hey, Dini, like, I really want to do like, a business online. How do I do it?" So what I've like, done is I've recorded 14 videos step by step on how to build your online business. If you've been thinking about trying to find an income stream, a second income stream, or just, you just want to start to do something online, to sell something online, this will come really like handy for you because it's 14 videos step by step from A to Z how to build your first online income. your
Okay,
own
so
business.
how do our viewers go and listeners go and claim this free gift?
Okay, I think like my team is watching this and they'll be sharing the link in the comments. If not, you
Okay,
can also reach out to us like through email or through my Facebook, Dini Tajudin, or through my pages, Dini Tajudin on LinkedIn or on Facebook, anywhere. It's Dini Tajudin
okay.
across all platforms.
Fantastic. So for all of us, all of you who are listening out there, please go and check out Dini's companies and also the comments page here. Now, Dini, final question before we leave for today. What would you like to leave as special lessons for our audience today?
If there's anything that, the key that I could give you is, one is, if you've gone through tough times, and we all do, understand that, it doesn't mean it's the end of your story. It just means that it hasn't finished yet. Okay. And most of the time we are toughest on ourselves, but understand that there's a lot of people just waiting to help, or just give you some direction if you just reach out. And I know that reaching out can be super scary, believe me, I know. But the thing is, as I promised before, I had my knees down to the ground and I told you guys like how much I lost everything, and what it took to gain it all back. I'm just saying that it's possible, and it is definitely possible during this time. Okay, it's possible. So just reach out and we'll be more than happy to give you anything that you need. And yes, you don't have to worry about like, she's gonna upsell me. It's like, no, none of that. Okay, don't worry about that at all, because I'm just trying to pay it forward. Because the people that helped me before, they don't need my help. They're fine. I asked. They're fine. They're good. So the only thing I can do is to pay it forward. And I would love to like, be the hand that helps another up. So I just want to say thank you to Brian for like having me over. You're such a gem. And thank you for everything, really.
Dini,
Big
thank you
fan.
very much for taking the time to be on the show. We've been speaking to the absolutely inspiring Dini Tajudin, founder of Dini Flix and Dinimedia, on BizTech's very first weekly SME show. I'm Brian Fernandez. This video will be on our Facebook and LinkedIn site, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please check out our website for business and technology conversations via articles, videos, and podcasts. I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to our various platforms.